theaters presenting the Rosenberg Strange Fruit Project, the story of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg's orphan son featuring strands of history and jazz, through August 4th. Tickets at 59e59.org.
The entertainment industry's new power player.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. The Name Your Price tool provides a range of coverage options. Progressive.com. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm David Brancaccio in New York. Paramount Global, the conglomerate that owns Paramount Studios and the CBS television network and a lot more, has agreed to merge with Skydance Media. You may not have heard of Skydance, but it's the source of some of Paramount's biggest films. The deal will cost Skydance and its founder, David Ellison, $8 billion, and it cements Ellison's position as a Hollywood mogul. Marketplace's Nova Safo is here live with more.
Yeah, this is a potentially big shakeup in the film and TV world, David. The Redstone family has controlled Paramount and CBS for decades. Sherry Redstone is currently majority owner. Should this deal be finalized, and that's not necessarily a certainty, it would create a new mega player in Hollywood, David Ellison. He is the 41-year-old son of Larry Ellison, who is the co-founder of Oracle and the fifth richest man in the world, worth around $180 billion. His son David set up his own production company, Skydance, in 2010, and it's been the source of several blockbuster films in co-production with Paramount, films like Top Gun Maverick.
What does David Ellison and team plan to do with this sprawling Paramount empire?
Well, whatever he decides to do, he has his work cut out for him. He has to figure out how to staunch losses at Paramount, which is currently engaged in job cuts and other cost reductions because its cable and broadcast revenues are shrinking. Its streaming services are losing money. That's Paramount Plus, which is subscriber-based, and Pluto TV, which is free with advertising. Over at Skydance, David Ellison expanded into streaming TV shows, launched a video game and virtual reality unit, and an animation unit. Interesting to see what he stressed in his press release announcing the Paramount deal. That was contemporary technology and creative discipline. A lot of people in Hollywood will be watching to see what that translates to at Paramount. Although the deal is not done yet, there's a go-shop period where Paramount can look for better offers, David, so stay tuned.
Okay, will do. Nova, thank you. An estimated 32 million people will be screened at airport security in the 12 days around the holiday. The TSA broke its record last month for most people screened in one day. Some of this is rising U.S. interest rates, making the dollar stronger and overseas travel cheaper for holders of the dollar. Marketplace's Kaylee Wells reports.
Simply put, you get a strong dollar when the U.S. economy is strong and stronger than foreign economies.
That's why the Fed hasn't been lowering interest rates yet, whereas European central banks have started doing that.
Hadi Farag with the Boston Consulting Group says it helps that the U.S. economy doesn't slow down even with higher prices.
The fact that the U.S. is such a consumer-driven economy and consumers have kept spending money is a big part of it.
The result? The dollar is more than 10% stronger than it was 3 years ago. Now, the Fed will cut interest rates eventually. Good news for home buying and job growth. Less good for international travel, says Winthin. He's global head of marketing strategy at Brown Brothers Harriman.
My best guess is the dollar would be weaker a year from now. So yes, this seems to be like the summer.
Thin says even though the dollar's strength might peak this year, the results of the November election could have a major impact on whether international travel is as affordable next year. I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
Stock index futures are little changed on a summer morning. Boeing stock is up 0.5% in pre-market trading now amid the news. It's avoiding a criminal trial by paying a new $244 million fine after the fatal crashes about 5 years ago of its 737 MAX jets. If this arrangement is approved, Boeing will have to spend nearly $500 million more to fix its safety systems.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden, with the reminder that in the Olympics and in business, getting ahead of the competition is critical. Bitwarden Password Manager offers enterprises a range of authentication options for single sign-on. Learn more at bitwarden.com. And by Schwab. Schwab offers investors choices like full-service wealth management, self-directed investing options, and trading on Thinkorswim. More at schwab.com.
The U.S. unemployment rate continued to tick up in June. It's now 4.1%.
There's more people looking for work. It's taking them longer to find jobs. So it's a cooler labor market.
That's economist Julia Coronado of Macro Policy Perspectives. Marketplace's Stephanie Hughes now on how this could change the search for a new job.
Jen Kwasniak has worked as a grant writer, contracts administrator, copywriter, event planner.
I'm also a performer and producer of burlesque shows, so I have tons of varied experience.
Kwasniak works part-time for an arts nonprofit in Baltimore, but she's a single parent. She'd like full-time work with benefits. She's been looking
Performer and producer of burlesque shows, so I have tons of varied experience.
Kwasniak works part-time for an arts nonprofit in Baltimore, but she's a single parent. She'd like full-time work with benefits. She's been looking for more than 9 months. She's had a few interviews
That have sounded very promising, and then I don't get the jobs.
Kwasniak says receiving a formulaic rejection or not getting any response at all is demoralizing.
A lot of the humanity feels removed from the process.
In some ways, the humanity is removed.
About 3/4 of resumes are read by computers first.
Julia Pollack is chief economist at the hiring site ZipRecruiter. She says a lot of companies updated their hiring tech during the pandemic, and resumes these days have to be computer friendly.
Make sure it reads top to bottom, left to right. Very simple, boring format. This is not the time for fancy fonts and colors and graphics.
Pollack also says lots of people apply to a bunch of jobs when they start their search, then sit back and see what happens. But she says that for many employers, the hiring process has sped up in the last couple of years, and it's best to apply early and often.
Many employers are not looking at any applications that come in after the first day or two or first week.
And there are a lot of applications. Guy Berger, director of economic research at the Burning Glass Institute, points out there's been an increase in both new entrants to the workforce and people re-entering the workforce.
As a result, there's more competition for jobs. And I think that if you're searching for a job, you might be a little discouraged.
In Baltimore, Jen Kwasniak tries to make sure her resume has words in it like organized and multifaceted, terms she thinks the computer recruiters will like. Also, she tries to make sure her cover letters have personality, so she doesn't end up coming off like a robot herself. I'm Stephanie Hughes for Marketplace.
And there's this old custom where people would pay for something by pulling out, get this, a booklet of paper slips, usually 6 by 2 3/4 inches. They'd write down the name of the store, write in the amount of numerals, and then again as narrative, look up and list the date, upper right, sign the thing, and rip it out of the booklet. I wanted to be sure that you saw confirmation over the holiday weekend that Target stores will no longer accept payment by check starting in a week. They're happy for you to tap, swipe, or insert. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio, Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.